Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of Visions, let's do an overview of all of the UR characters that were available at launch. So you could think of this as like a reset marathon video, where like you install the game and uninstall it, and then you pull that single 10-shot until you get the UR character that you want. Or you could just think of it as just kind of a general review video of those original characters, and to look at how they're holding up about 3 months later in the game. But thankfully I have all of the launch units, so we can have a look at them all in person. First we will look at Jiza, and as you can see I have not leveled her up, but she's actually really good. What she is good at, her pros, she's very fast, she's good for arena, she has a steel heart, her Trustmaster is one of the best in the game, and then she has good monk support skills. Cons to her are she is dark element. There are lots of good dark characters, even like SSR or SR units, so you're going to have a lot of competition for these materials. And then although she is an attacker, her attack is not high enough that she can be your main attacker. She can't lead a team, I would say. But she is really good, all that said, and it kind of breaks my heart to not work on her. The main reason why I did choose to not work on her though was because she is Dark Element. Because I wanted to work on like Shuteru, or Shadow Lynx, or Sasayaki, those other characters. But because her speed is so high, she can act very quickly or even first, and that makes her great for arena, where if you can take down a guy before they act, that gives you a big advantage in there. She also has Steel Heart, which is a very rare ability, and then in the right situation can be very cheesy, which we saw with the recent arena mock battles, where you can steal, you can charm the enemy Orlando, and then you can kill the other team members and then make that win more easy for you. And then the Monk has other nice support abilities which can heal guys, do remedy or revive, so good support as well. And yeah, again, her Trustmaster, one of the best in the game, gives you both accuracy and speed up. But I think for free-to-play players and then Dolphins, you can't really consider Trustmasters for UR characters. It's just going to be way too out of reach. Okay, next up is Gilgamesh, and pros, a lot of pros here, kind of does everything. Can attack with physical or magic damage, can do support with the Time Mage sub-job, also healing, and then also has Levitate. I don't know if we can look at that here, but that means that he can attack guys that are like of a higher elevation than most other characters with just the direct attacks. So a little bit of more versatility there, and then also has immunity to like earth-based attacks, like the Earth Wave. The cons for this character, however, is that it's very difficult to get these shards. The character is half as likely to appear in hatchers, and then also when the shards appear in the shop, the price is twice as much. So I am not going to lift a finger to chase Gilgamesh at all. But hopefully with just random luck pulling the hatcher, I'll get some random drops of him, and then hopefully maybe get him up to level 79 someday, and then he'll be really good. But yeah, quite a few ranged attacks, and then ranged attacks also that have an area of effect around them, which is still very rare in this game. Maybe one other con that he has is that his Trustmaster is just so-so. Decent amount of HP, defense, and spirit, and then the special ability is a, let's see, magic buff, and then fills the CT gauge, so nothing worth chasing there. Okay, next let's talk about Rob, who's pretty good. Pros, pretty good range attacker. A con, however, is that his attack is not as high as other attackers. Another pro he has is that his speed is quick, so he can act pretty quickly. But he is fragile, he can go down easily. But he kind of specializes in evade rather than defense, so if you can do those self buffs for evade, or if you can give him other like vision cards or armor or whatever that raises his evade, that would help him as well. Rob, I would say, is solid, but he's not necessary anywhere. Not PvP, not high-level content, not even farming, so yeah, he's definitely lower on the priority list. Okay, next, that brings me to a character that's kind of similar to Rob, but maybe is better than Rob. But Erude, he's the other king. But I actually really like this guy, and I'm tempted to level him up. But I have to draw the line somewhere, and I'm going to draw it here at Erude. But he is a Lancer, so his normal attack goes up to 2 panels away. So he always has kind of like a short-range attack. I like his TM. It raises evade by 15, which is maybe the highest I've seen. No, I've seen like 20, but yeah, 15 is still pretty high. And then depending on the map, he's good for PvP, partly because he has really good defense. And then his limit break will also raise the defense of himself and other characters. As for cons, there's nothing much really bad about him, but just like Rob, there's nothing that he's the best at. There's nowhere where he's really necessary. Alright, next let's look at Ilene, and then she was the first UR character that I ever pulled. And when the game was first released, with her as a launch unit, she was maybe the best attacker, just for pure damage, even better than Shuteru. But her too, she is a Lancer, so she gets the 2-panel range on her normal attack, and then she has a few like ranged attacks and area of effect attacks as well. But the cons with her, she's slow, and then also has low mobility, so she can only move 3, jump 1. And then if you give her the Abandon skill from the Soldier subjob, that raises her attack a lot, but it lowers her defense, so she can be fragile as well. And then compared to a lot of other attackers who can do a variety of things, Ilene only does attacking, so yeah, she's slow, she's not versatile. So yeah, if you want to use an attacker, you can do better than her, I would say. Alright, next up is Masha Dee, and then she's definitely one of the more underrated characters, I would say. But I really like her, and as you can see, I'm working on getting her up to level 79. But she is a good magic attacker, also can do some support, and then her magic is light element. So that means it's easy to chain with other characters. And then her Trustmaster is also pretty good, an accessory that raises a critical evade, which is still a pretty rare ability. But it's the active skill, which is really good. It will heal people around her, including herself, and then also give a damage mitigation barrier, which will be good for 3 attacks. So that's pretty darn good for a skill, especially considering that you can put that on anybody. And then she's pretty beefy as well. Once you get her up to like level 79 or higher, like high HP, good spirit, good defense. The cons with her, as with any light character, she is light element, and so there are also a lot of good light characters that will kind of fight for the materials. And then although she is a cleric and a monk, she doesn't really have any abilities to heal. She has the Cure spell, which is the weakest, and then she has her Trustmaster ability. But otherwise, she has like status effect stuff. She can do prevention of status effects, or she can heal those, or she can cast them on enemies, but no real healing that you can count on. But the number one reason why I like her is because she has the light element magic attacks. With the last raid, we saw how important magic attacks were against that chocolate pudding. And so if in the future there is a raid boss that is weak against both light element and magic attacks, Masha Dee will be one of the best. And then Holy is another magic spell which is light element and magic. A lot of different characters have Holy, which means that Masha Dee has a lot of partners that she can chain with. But her spells are going to be much more inexpensive compared to Holy. Holy is a very expensive spell. Okay, next up we're getting to the big guns. Here is Shuteru, and then he, I would say, is one of the 4 best characters from launch. But pros, he has a lot of pros. He's versatile, like he's good everywhere, very high attack. He's easy to use as well. He has good mobility. We can see the move 4 jump to there. Fast speed, so he'll act early and often. And then he's good at farming. He's good at PvP as well, but he is fragile, so it's kind of risky to use him in PvP. If he does not get the first attack in, he might go down right away. And then he's also dark element, so he'll compete for materials, but if you get Shuteru, you might want to make him your top priority for those dark materials. But with his super high attack and then the ninja shuriken skill, that gives him a ranged attack which is high damage, and then you can use it many times during a single battle, so that's what makes him very good in all kinds of different places. But again, with Abandon from the soldier job class, that will lower his defense, so that makes him more fragile. If you wanted to make him a little bit more beefy, don't equip him with Abandon, and then I think he has an HP up passive skill as well, so you could give that to him. Okay, another top 4 launch character I would say is Ayako. She's maybe the bottomest of the 4 because healers aren't super necessary, but they're very useful. But best healer in the game, really strong Limit Break, which has a big range, and it heals a lot of your guys for a lot of HP, and then it's available at the start of battle, which is very useful. And then she has good attack magic as well. I think she has like Holy and Ruin and Comet from her 3 magic jobs. So against single targets, she can do good damage. Her Trustmaster is also one of the best in the game. Raises speed, raises critical evade, and then an active skill which gives you remedies, so that's very crazy. And she's good for arena, although maybe more than good, I would say she's annoying. But if you pair her with a tank, the tank will take a little bit of damage, Ayako will heal them back up to full, and then that pattern just repeats itself. And so, yeah, they can make for very long, very annoying PvP battles. But as we look ahead, maybe for like high-level content where the battles will be very long, or for the future dungeon quest where you do not get automatic healing in between like rooms or floors, then healers are going to become very important. So you're going to want Ayako or someone similar then. Okay, and then the next launch character, which I would say is top 4, maybe the best, is Mediana. But she is a magic user. She's the best magic user in the game. Highest magic value, and then lots of different spells that take advantage of that. But she also has a very good limit break that is available turn 1. And that makes her really good for arena, so she can take down maybe 1 or even 2 of the enemies in the first turn. That also makes her a good farmer in easy quests, so you can get through those very quickly. You can also use Yashutara, the free character, who also has like a ranged attack with an area of effect to clear those easy quests very quickly. But those are magic spells, so they have like charge times. Mediana's limit break has no charge time, it just comes out right away, so that makes her the best farmer in the game, I would say. And then good speed and good mobility, again with the ninja sub job, so you can give her stuff to raise her move and her jump. Her only con is fragility, like low HP, low defense, so you definitely want to pair her with a tank so that they can draw the attacks away from Mediana. Okay, and then last, and then maybe my number 1 pick for the Reset Marathon is Engelbert, and then he's the best tank in the game. But top level HP and defense. The Monk gives some nice support abilities like heals and stuff, but also some nice ranged attacks, which these other 2 jobs don't really give him. He's great for arena and high difficulty content. He's almost necessary for like the top levels of PvP. And then he's going to have a long lifespan. We saw that from Brave Exvius as well, but support units like tanks, they never really go bad, so you can count on Engelbert. As for cons, he is light element, so you have to compete for materials. Although if you pull him, he's probably going to be your number 1 priority for the light materials. And then one like minor con is that it's kind of difficult to choose if you want his faith to be very low or very high. If his faith is very low, he'll take less damage from magic attacks, but if it's very high, he'll do better healing with his monk skills, so it kind of depends on your personal preference. Another con for him, which is maybe not obvious at first, it's a little bit difficult to join co-op games with Engelbert. If other people set up rooms, they usually want just other attackers to join so they can dish out lots of damage. I've tried to join a lot of co-op rooms with Engelbert, and then they'll kick me out. But I still think that Engelbert is really useful even in co-op, especially for the higher difficulty quests, because you can park him in the middle of the enemies will attack him, while your other teammates, who are the attackers, can take down guys. So I find him a lot of fun to use in co-op, even though it is harder to join rooms. And then also, he's not a good farmer, he barely has ranged attacks, he's slow, low mobility, so yeah, not great for farming, but maybe good for everything else. So yeah, that is a look at the launch units, and then in the future I will make another video, maybe when we get closer to the launch of Global, that will talk about like post-launch units, and then also limited time units, so you can look forward to that. But yeah, in conclusion, I would say maybe the 4 best units for the Reset Marathon are Engelbert and Mediana, and then also Ayako and Shutaru. If you want the best chance of joining other co-op teams, I would say go for an attacker, so maybe Shutaru or Mediana. Okay, I think that'll do it for this video, a look at the launch units. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.